Friday. Not that Fridays are any different than any other days.
Well, for
But
working people, it is, Michael.
for
Friday,
working people,
like,
it is.
they're like,
But
yes, it's the weekend.
yeah, for us, every day we're just here giving you guys value. Before we get started, as I said, I'm always going to say this every video. We're not here to in this space to say that we're the best or anything like that. We're an up and coming channel. But we're just here to add a different perspective because I think, honestly, at the end of the day, it's what value can you offer to that space is what matters. It's not about being the best in that space. It's what value can you offer to the space that people might gravitate towards or that people might like. So before we start the video, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. You guys mess with us hard on Facebook. But on YouTube, we really need you guys to subscribe. We need you guys to check us out on Instagram and help us climb the thing. You know what I mean? I want to see
the algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. The algorithm. I want to see, like, when I look at my phone, like, yo, the new subscriber, new person following on Instagram, because that's what really inspires us to keep going, right? Like, we, when it comes to this podcast, go out and educate ourselves before we actually talk about a lot of our subjects. Like, guys, I watch a lot of videos on dating and relationships. Like, it's literally coming out my ears. Watching different channels talk about relationships and stuff like that. I love it though. It's not work, but it's like homework for me.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. We always make sure that we educate ourselves before we talk about the things that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, well, this is the fun of it as well, isn't it? It's what we do. We can do a bit of research in the background, and like you said, you watch a lot of it, and it helps educate us. It helps bring the best to the table as much as we can. And I think with us, we are just pure in what we're talking about. It's just pure experiences, things that we've seen, things that we've heard. But really it comes from our own experiences more so than anything, and that's what I love about what we do, because we can implement and we can show what difference we can make to people. So yeah, it's really
agree
cool.
Because a lot of people think that these are our perspectives, but they don't look at the people in our space. Like, I'm just reporting what these guys are reporting. Like, I listen to females and I listen to males. And they're the one giving the information, because I'll hear some people say, well, how can you say that? It's not me saying it. It's the statistics saying it. It's people that have been doing it longer than us saying it.
Yeah.
And they've seen certain dynamics. Like, so guys,
Yeah.
like, do your research into it. Look into different channels, and when you hear us speak, get outside of your feelings and look at it from a place of logic, because we're only here to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So with that being said, let's talk about today's topic, actually, which I'm kind of excited to really talk about, because it's close to my heart in a way, because I hate it when people do it.
Yeah, and we've spoken about it, right, a number of times.
Yeah, and I hate it when people do this. And again, when we're covering this today, we're not shaming anybody, but we're looking at the facts. So what we're going to talk about is, why do people shame people for their preferences when it comes to dating? I see a lot of it on more the female side. And what I mean by that is, women are allowed to have their preferences. They're allowed to say, hey, I want a guy that's tall. I want a guy that makes great money. I want a guy that looks this way. I want a guy that does all these things. Nobody bats an eyelash. But as soon as a guy says, hey, I don't want to date a girl that has a promiscuous past, I don't want an assertive masculine woman. Oh, you can't say this. It's like they're telling guys what they want instead of actually listening to what they want.
And that's a really good point you just made. It's not listening, isn't it? It's just taking, like, people. Okay, everyone's got the right to want what they want. Everybody has that right, and I don't think anyone should be shamed for anything that you want. And if you prefer tall, to short, that's your business.
Hmm.
If you prefer large to small, that's your business. And nobody can say, should be able to say anything, because someone might like pizza with pepperoni and someone doesn't like it with pepperoni. It's just a preference in somebody. So to be shamed for it, and I want you to elaborate on being shamed, because I know this is something
So it's
personal.
it's like shaming language. But before I touch on that, see, this is why listening is so important. It's like, let's say hypothetically, Anthea tells me, Mike, I like Oreos. Should I say, okay, cool? But I bring her chocolate chip cookies when she specifically said, I like
I like
Oreos.
Oreos.
You see what I'm saying? And I heard her, but it's like I didn't care because I'm like, well, no, you're gonna like chocolate chip. Like I don't care
Yeah.
what you want.
Without a phone call in between to say, listen,
Yeah.
there is no Oreos. Is there anything else you prefer? Because if you're
Yeah.
listening to somebody and you're hearing what they're saying, you're going to bring back Oreos, right? And if
Exactly. And
you're
that's
not,
what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like it's more of a listening thing. Like instead of
yeah,
telling either side what they want, like
hearing,
instead of hearing and listening and saying, okay, that's if that's what they want, don't try to be that, but respect that's what they want. So
yeah, absolutely.
I am gonna elaborate on it. So and I'll use myself many times because of this new journey that I'm on. I try not to be friends with too many females. Now we're gonna cover that on Saturday. Um, maybe even Sunday. It's really up to you, Anthea. I'm trying to put something special together for that episode. Um, so I've been putting the pieces together. Um, so again, we'll figure that out together. But many times I try not to be friends with females, right? And I've been shamed for that, like ruthlessly. All you think about is females romantically, all you care about is what you want. No, it's just based off of my experiences, and I don't want to dive in too deep because I need to save it for when we do it. But the shaming language, the attack was so like, I'm not saying malicious, but so like, oh, you don't care, all you care about is what you want. And it's like, no, have I ever shamed you for your preferences? No, I was accepting. But as soon as I tell you that I don't want to be your friend, it's a problem.
But this is the thing, isn't it? Like, I don't think people really stop and think of the dynamics of being a friend with the opposite sex, because
Mhm.
I think unless there's like serious boundaries in place, or there is no sexual connection whatsoever, like there's nothing there, then but it's not very often, because we're born to be with the opposite sex. So if you're going to spend time with the opposite sex, it's because there's something there. It's there's got to be something that brings you two together. It wouldn't be that. Why would it be that you just connect? Like, okay, I've got a friend, but he's not straight, so I can be friends with him because I know that he has no sexual thing towards me
Mhm.
whatsoever, and I have nothing towards him, and we're very clear on that. We're super clear on that. So we can sit, have a conversation. I can sit with him and we can chill together, because there's nothing to say. Like, he's not interested in women. It's not me.
Mhm.
He's just not interested in women. So I can have that relationship with him. And I think unless it's a thing where somebody is not interested in the same sex, I don't think I just can't see it that it works. And I'm going to give you an example that just came to my mind while you were speaking earlier. Maybe, I don't know, quite a number of years ago now. Um, there was a guy around, and he was very interested in me, and I wasn't interested in him, and he really took it to heart. And he'd always say to me, "What's wrong with me?" I say, "It's nothing that's wrong with you. I'm just not interested." And he's like, "I can't understand it. No other woman has said no to me." And I said, "Well, I don't know what to say to you." Like, but it went on and on and on for like months, and we worked at the same place, so it was very hard or difficult to avoid seeing him or being around him. So the only thing I could do eventually was just kind of be extremely cold, to be able to kind of come away, because obviously, like, I don't know if people have seen or whatever, or like, I'm very, what's the word? I'm a warm person. Like, I'll come to you and like, you feel like I don't make people feel uncomfortable. I try, and I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, and I hope
Well,
that I
did
don't.
you tell this guy why you weren't interested? Like,
I
was
could,
it?
it was, well, first of all, he was a lot younger than me. Second of all, it was too close to home, as in
Yeah, yeah,
I
like
knew
work.
his family and I knew a lot. And I worked, and third, we worked in the same place. So all three of them to me was a no, no, no. Like I didn't want to do that. It didn't feel right to me. It didn't, no, nothing drew me to him like that. So, but he would get into himself into such a state about it. And I'd say, look, stop, because it's not you, it's the circumstance, it's everything. And I'm just not, I don't want to be with you. I don't want anything to do with you
Well,
in
you
that sense.
see, it's interesting, and I love that you said that, though. And we'll touch on it. We'll go left, we'll go right today. Men, I need you to understand something. If a woman tells you that she wants to be friends, take her serious. Don't try to convince her. Take it for what it is. So that's point number one. Point number two is, if you decide to stay, if she tells you, hey, I am not attracted to, because when a woman tells you that she is not interested, but she still wants to be your friend, what she's saying, and don't take it to heart, is she is not sexually attracted to you. She does not see you as a viable sexual option to be with and mate with. But she still wants to be your friend. If you decide to still stay in her life, that's on you.
Absolutely. And I
And
didn't
I
even
need
want to
you
be
guys to
friends.
understand that that's on you. So anything else that happens after that, that's your fault, because you decided
Absolutely.
to stay after she
And,
told you this.
and that's taking accountability
It
again, isn't it? It
is.
all comes back down to that. And I don't, it's, you know, if somebody's saying to you, I'm not interested like that, why do you want to be around them in the first place? Like, I don't see the point.
Well,
It
well,
doesn't make
see,
sense to me.
that's what you would have to explain as a woman, because why do women pull the trump card friend? The
Well,
friend.
this is the thing. Women will try and get what they can out of you because it's what they I had this conversation earlier. People will try and get what they want. A woman will try and get what they want out of you. They'll try and take your resources, your time, your attention, and they'll do everything to get that. And they will use any language they need to use to get you there, to make you do what they want you to do. And if and I think that's where women just shouldn't do it. At the end of the day, I just don't think it's right. Like,
I
I
agree with you,
personally
because it's
don't
like,
think it's right.
as a woman, why are you gonna keep a guy around you that you know wants to sleep with you? That's self. Like, think about it like this. Yeah, you want to be his friend, but in the back of your mind, you know he wants to sleep with you. In the back of your mind, you know that if you gave him a chance, and you said, hey, I wanted some bedroom fun today, he's over there faster than Flintstone.
Mm.
So why would you want to be his friend?
Because it means that they get things in between, Michael. It means that they get the things that they need to get in order for them to feel better. And this is where it comes down to, again, like looking for love in all the wrong places, because you're searching for a way to get validated through another person by being able to say, okay, I clicked my fingers and there they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that person, and you don't, if, as the woman who's not, let's say a woman's not interested and the man's coming to do it because he is interested, then then it becomes a problem in the long run, and somebody's going to get hurt in between that. And I think this is what it comes down to. People don't stop to think about the other person's emotions and feelings and what they're going through, but then it comes to a point where each person has to take accountability, and if the person's continued to do something, then they have to say to themselves, well, I've got to be accountable for this because I'm still doing A, B, and C. And if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's been women literally I've just walked out of their life, like just walked away.
Yeah.
Not a word, walked away.
And
And
you
you know
taught me
why?
this, actually. You taught me
Yeah,
this.
just walk away. You know why? Because, and I'm gonna save some of the other stuff for when we do our special episode, like the closing one, is because I'm not gonna sit in your friend zone, do all the things that a boyfriend does, but not have boyfriend benefits. You're gonna think about it. When you tell someone that you want to be a friend, What is a friend? A friendship takes work.
It
With
does.
work, that requires time. And don't you think over time someone's going to get feelings? Because in a friendship, like with one of my boys, if we're friends, we're hanging out, we talk regularly, we share things. You want that from me as a female.
And you shouldn't be
So,
shamed for that. You should
but
just
don't
not
you?
be shamed for that.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't the females think that over time through that connection, where someone's gonna grow something? But
People
most
don't
of the
stop and
time, it's the
think, though,
male.
do they? Yeah, they don't stop and think. People don't stop and think. This is a big problem.
That's
It's
what
a
I'm
big.
saying. Offering the
It is.
friendship card is like a pity. It's like, yeah, I don't want to be with you like that way, but like I feel bad for you, so be my friend.
Yeah, it's just not. This is the thing. You can't feel bad for people. You have to take yourself and be putting yourself first. And I don't care if people call that selfish, but you have to, because if you're not looking out for you, who's looking out for you at the end of the day? And if you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position, knowing that there's nothing coming from that, what are you doing it for in the first place? Like you rightfully
Please,
said, a friendship takes time. It takes energy. It takes phone calls. It takes meeting up. It takes
attention.
it takes attention. And if you're building something, what are you building it for? It's like if I'm building a house and I'm putting brick after brick to build my house, then and I've got no end result to this house, I don't know, have a clue what it's going to look like, I don't care. Well, what's going to come from that house? It's going to just collapse, right?
Yeah,
In time it's going
and
to collapse because I'm not finishing off what I've started. So in that sense, it's the same with the relationship. If you don't have a means to an end with it and it's just a friendship, then where are you going with it? It doesn't make
exactly,
sense.
and that's what I mean. Like, we're not saying that it's not possible, but it's only possible in the context of there is no sexual
Sexual
attraction. But let's
attraction.
be honest, majority of the time there
There is.
is. Let's keep it a stack.
Yeah. And I know, like, I think I spoke about this. I think me and you might have spoken about this. There's older people that I've spoken to, and they've got friendships with the opposite sex. Now, I think, and I've tried to work out, like, what difference does that make? And I think if you're like 65, 70 plus, and you're both single, I'm not saying there can't be no sexual attraction, but they seem to find it easier to have that friendship with nothing attached. But
We
again,
got to
I
look
just
at the
don't think
dynamic.
it's
We got to
true. I
look at
don't,
the
yeah,
dynamic though. Like, the dynamic is so important. Is it a work relationship? Is
yeah.
it business? Like, what is it
What is it?
exactly?
Yeah. And why have you connected in the first place? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've got somebody who's an older person who I speak with, but he was my client. So I just,
See,
and yes, we are friends in the sense we speak, but it's not a conversation where it's always a conversation of empowering or inspiring
see,
with
I tell women
knowledge.
use the word acquaintance because the word friend is a strong word. He's an
Then,
acquaintance
yeah,
because
yeah,
think about it. A friend you hang out with,
yeah,
right? You're not
absolutely.
going out to dinner dates with this guy and coffee dates or anything like that.
Mm,
So he's an acquaintance.
hmm. Which makes sense. Which
So,
makes a lot of sense. But again, like, being told that you're wrong or you're wrong for not wanting something just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't.
but why do you feel people do it? Do you think it's from a place of insecurity?
Massively insecurity, it definitely is, and they want to feel secure, they want something. It's that validation again, isn't it? You keep someone around for validation for self, and again, that's a selfish way, and it's not the right way either, as in, like, I don't think that, don't play with people's hearts, don't play with people, because at the end of the day someone is going to get hurt. And we've said before, yes, it might, like, we watched the video you sent me, and the guy had said, oh, it's okay if I cheat on somebody, they'll get over it in a couple of years' time. Well, actually, no, because some people don't know how to get over it, and they carry that forth. They can't actually build trust with somebody. They don't know how to be around someone, because they're so frightened of what could happen. And I, obviously I'm saying that, but still it takes that person now to come back to themselves and go into that self-love and start to understand themselves and come away from that. But why have to do all that work just because you want to do something that's gonna rock that person in that sense? There's no need to do that. There's just just know from the start, if that's not what it's going to be, walk the other way.
So you're saying it's more of like when
Insecurity.
somebody shames somebody, it's more of a sense of control.
Yeah, yeah, massively. It is a sense of control because they're now saying, well, I don't I don't care what you want. I'm telling you what I want, and this is what I want. And if I don't get it, then I'm going to speak to you in shameful language. Now that is control. That's my
Mm.
opinion. Like that's just how I see it at the end of the day.
No,
And vice,
that's a very interesting dynamic that you said that, because again, like what you're saying is they want to control the narrative.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
like yes, you have the right to tell someone that you don't want to be with them, but then it's like don't try to spin the narrative when the person doesn't take what you want. And that could be in any dynamic. That could
Yeah,
be in the workplace, it could be in a friendship, relationship. And that's why I think like on this new, like I think honestly when you start standing up for yourself, that's when people start to control the narrative, because they're like, I can't
or
shame
try
this
to.
person or make them feel bad for what they want. I can't push them around. I can't tell them, um, this thing, and then they have no problem walking away from me to look for what it is they really want.
Yeah, because they want to hold on. So many people just want to hold on because they're so frightened. People don't like to live in the unknown, right? They want to know that that someone's there or something's happening. So they have this thing where they hold on to things that is actually not healthy in the long run. It could be healthy in that moment, but not in the long run. So but they don't want to let go of it because they can't understand how is their life going to be without that. What do I do? Well, go and do you. Like this is another thing. Like look, you're 35,
Yeah.
you meet someone today, yeah, let's just
Yeah.
say, and you start seeing them 2 weeks, and then you decide actually I don't want a relationship with you, you're not for me, and that person starts holding on to that, and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do, I've spoken to him, let's say, every single day for 2 weeks, yeah, so there's 14 times that you guys have spoken, and now mentally in their head, they can't understand how they're going to move forward without you being in their life. But my thing is, you've just done 35 years. Let's say that person's 35
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
old. They've just done 35 years without you in their life. Continue. Like, what is 2 weeks? What's 3 weeks? Get over it and just move on. At the end of the day, stop holding people to your preference to say, I need you in my life. You don't need anybody. There's a massive difference between needing and wanting. Like, I either want you in my life
Or I don't.
or I don't. But if I need you in my life, then I'm insecure. I've got issues going on, and I need this validation in my life for me to move forward. Now, how are you going to move forward in a relationship if you need somebody? Yes, within the relationship, you're going to need one another to do something for one another, or you're going to need certain things. But a want is what a different feeling a want is. If somebody's calling you because they want to call you, how different does that feel to someone calling you because they need to call you for something? It's a huge
Well, that's
difference.
why I say like choose people that choose
Choose
you.
you,
And on this
absolutely.
podcast, you know what I mean? Look, I'm gonna keep it a stock with you guys. Like there's been moments in my life where I've simped. And what I mean by that is there's been moments where I had a hard time letting go. I catered to this person like continuously, and they still wanted to walk away. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, there's been a few of my exes I had a hard time letting go. I didn't know how to let go. You know what I mean? I'm like, because in my mind, I'm like, everything's fixable. But at the same time, it's like, if you don't want to be here, you don't want to be here.
And
You
I
know what I
think
mean?
that's the main point, isn't it? That's the
And then
main
that
point.
that's like my thing that I have to deal with, right? Because a lot of times where people get hurt is where they say, well, how can this person let me go? And then they're already seeing someone else. They're already like, they've
Mm,
already moved on with their life, you
yeah,
know? But
yeah,
you're like still stuck in like this space of like this bubble that you guys had for like a month, a year,
whatever it is.
yeah, whatever it is, without understanding that um if someone doesn't want to stay, don't make them. If they want
Don't
to
make
go,
it.
go. Deal with the
Let them
feelings,
go.
deal with the emotion. you're obviously hurt, but deal with it, because like that's the thing. Like people move on quickly, man. It's the type of world that we live in right now.
But I don't think it's a bad thing. Listen, if someone moves on, look, it comes down to your each person's energy and connection, right? If there is, if one's not feeling it and one is feeling it, then you can't shame somebody for that. If just because I feel a certain way doesn't mean I expect you to feel the same way about me that I feel about you. That's me. I'm not the same person. That person's different to me. So if they're not feeling what I'm feeling, that's fine. But and I say it's fine, but if that person I hear like 2-3 days later they're with somebody else, I can't get upset, because
No.
I would just wish them the best, because at the end of the day, if you wasn't a match to me but you found your match, you both feel that you're connected and you want to move forward together, then good luck to you. Yes, I have to deal with my emotions and my thoughts, absolutely, but that's where I would much rather take accountability for that, much rather go through that for a few days. Like, how long are you really going to go through it for? Like, unless you're somebody that just goes on and on and on and on. But if you teach yourself not to be like that and teach yourself how to just learn how to let that stuff go, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, write. Like, I like to write. I mean, I've got notebooks. I've got about 1 billion notebooks. I just write and write and write, because I like to get things out of me. Because if I hold it inside me, and I don't mean necessarily by speaking, I feel when I write things down, I clear so much in myself. And I just find that's one of the best ways to do things. And then that helps you be able to move forward. But don't hate on somebody else. Don't hate on that person,
For moving on so
for
quickly.
moving on so quickly. Even if it was the same day they went out, in that morning they said to you, listen, I'm just really not feeling you. I don't want to be with you like that. And then you have to go about your business and have to deal with your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts. They're not going to go through that, because they're the ones that don't feel like that about you. Maybe they might think, oh, I feel a little bit bad or whatever. But if they go out that night and meet somebody and this super connection takes place and they're going to have a long lasting relationship, who are you to come in between that and stop that?
Well, that's why you gotta vet. That's why it's so important. And we'll probably do an episode on it, on what vetting looks like.
Yeah.
Because I
That'd be good.
feel like that's the problem. We vet, our vetting process is like very like poor. And it's like you'll just kind of let anybody that bats an eyelash at you come in your life.
Yeah, and I've done that. I've done that.
Anybody that makes you feel the tinglies
Yeah.
come into your life, instead of saying, well, do they compliment it in any shape, way, or form? And that's why I'm going to tell you guys that me walking away from some people, they didn't compliment my life at all. I
Mm,
complimented theirs, but they never complimented mine at all.
mm.
Um, so again, that's why I'm saying that, like, when people use shaming language on you, you have to be aware of it. Don't even call them out on it, but it's more of, is this the type of person I really want to like? Someone that shames me when I tell them no, or shames me for not agreeing with them.
It's recognition, isn't it? It's just recognizing what the language around and what's being said and what's not being said, or like, I don't know, like you said, right? How many times, like in our younger days, well, people. I want to say I held on to people, but I don't know. I don't know if I've questioned this about myself. Do I have a problem? Because I do just walk and I don't really care. Um, it doesn't matter how good of a time or how things have been. It's like, well, like
That's
I
the
said,
past.
yeah, I've had a life before that and I can continue. Like, I think once you've come to a certain point in life, once you've experienced a lot of adversity, a lot of crap in your life, you kind of come to a point where you go, I don't care. Like, I really don't
Mm.
care. If this is not what you want, but this is what I want, then I know what I want will come to me. Like, it will come in the form of somebody else that looks a different way to you. That's all it is. But just because I'm not getting that from you doesn't mean I'm not going to get that. And people, this is where people get fearful and they think, oh my God, if I let go of this person, then I'm not going to find anybody else. But of course, you're going to find somebody else, because everything you want will come to you if you allow it to come to you. So if you're holding on to that person, then you're closing the doors to somebody else coming in. And there could be somebody waiting for you that it wants exactly what you want, and you're actually closing that door, blocking that energy from coming, because your attention is on the other person, and you're so holding on to what you thought you had with them. Oh, yeah, but we had this good connection, or we had these great
Mm.
conversations, or we had this, or we had that, or he said this, or he said that, and now he's gone. Well, he's gone. What are you going to do?
Connections come and go.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It's just like, so many of us
See,
just we like act like these crazy people, like we've got no control over ourselves. It's like, get a grip, literally get a grip.
well, one of my biggest things is this, because I know that some people, when it comes to that, they're afraid to let go because, like, if they see the person or the person reaches out, how do they deal with that type thing, right? So I think we can definitely do another episode on how to deal with moving on.
Yeah. um
Um,
no, I
because I
think
know,
so, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
like how to move. Because I know for me, and this is how I do it. Like, let's say I'm out and I see someone from my past, and we don't talk no more, right? Like, and it wasn't like bad or anything. It's just we don't talk. Especially like with a female, right? Sometimes, and they'll talk to me. I literally just keep going,
I remember you saying
and
this.
and there's a reason for that. And it's not because I'm angry or not because I'm petty, but like, let's say they're like, "Hey, why don't you want to talk to me?" And I will just openly tell them, that love and respect and stuff that I gave you, that was a privilege, not a right. You lost that right when you left.
Mm-hmm,
So now you don't get those same privileges no more.
mm-hmm,
So I don't know you. I'm out.
mm-hmm,
Bye. Because you've lost those privileges.
mm-hmm,
You don't get to say, you don't get to still have the person that loved you, cared for you. I'm not going to be mean and rude to you, but you
mm-hmm,
don't get that person that was loving, respectful, willing to put you first, like all those type of things, and think you can still get that when you walked away,
mm-hmm. And you know
because
what,
you
you
lost
just, yeah,
that privilege. It's not a
yeah.
right. You're not owed that.
No, I
But go
completely
ahead.
agree. And I'm sorry, I'll cut you there.
No, no.
I was just going to say, I just had something come to my mind where you're very aware of it as well. Actually, we'd had many conversations about this quite a while back, and I'm saying that I've walked away, but there was only one person that I held on to, and
Yeah.
that man, like what I'd done to myself by doing that, I think that's where my biggest lessons came from, understanding that, and because he was still willing to be around, even though I actually ended it. And I remember him saying, just know that you're doing this. And I was like, yes, I am doing this. But then I changed my mind. And me changing my mind opened up to him still coming to me, or me still going to him. But it was going nowhere.
It was go really.
It was going nowhere. So it's like, that's where I learned that big lesson. It's like, it's not worth it, because all that's going, you're going around in circles. And then what? You stop yourself from meeting someone else. You stop the other person from meeting someone else. You're obviously not compatible for one another. So, but you are willing to go and do meet up and have the bedroom fun as such. But then where are you going with it? It's like, it's a dead end thing, isn't it? It doesn't take you nowhere. And no one should be shamed for that. It should be, when, if two adults are coming together and doing that, and it's a choice at the end of the day, but you're choosing to drag a situation out for no reason, because there is no end result to it.
I agree. Well, that's the thing. As I said, as human beings, we need to learn to detach.
Yes. From
And I think
anything.
and I think that's where it is, because we'll be like, I gave you 4 years. Yeah, you
Yeah.
gave you 4 years willingly. Nobody put a
Willingly.
gun to your head and said, give him 4 years.
And another thing you hear as well, oh, I've just wasted 4 years. No, you did not waste 4 years. Those 4 years, or 5 or 6 or 7, or however many years it is, was an experience.
Yeah, it
It was,
was.
it's just as what it is. That's what life is. It's an experience at the end of the day. So when that ends, at the end of the day, you can't look back at it and say, oh, I wasted my time. No, there's
No,
no
you
such
didn't.
thing as waste your time.
You
You
had an
learn,
experience.
you had an experience, you learned from that experience, take that wisdom and move forward with it. Take your lessons from it and implement them later on in life with whatever situation. It doesn't have to be in a romantic relationship at all. Why does it have to be just that? There's going to be so many things that you learned within those 4, 5, 6 years that you can take into the world, and probably during that time also you can take into the world. And I just don't think that everyone's, you meet everybody for a reason. My belief anyway. Like there's always going to be a reason behind it. And if you can find that reason and understand that, okay, this happened, but look what I got from it personally, and take that, then you're going to have happy days, really.
No, I agree with you. And I think honestly, when you can be in more peaceful states, you can honestly enjoy yourself a lot more. And I don't think we should ever let somebody take us out of peace.
No, no.
No matter what happens, right? So to bring this around full circle, guys, um, if someone doesn't want what you want, that's okay. But then you learn to move on. And that's the thing. If someone shames you, that's even a better indication that they're not for you. Because I wouldn't
Mm.
want someone like that. Because
No, you
being in a
don't.
relationship, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to shame you when you don't do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for
Absolutely. And it's
me,
not how
it's a
you need to
better,
go on.
it's a
Yes, yes,
better,
yes.
it's a better, what's the word I'm looking for? Sign when that person shames me for a decision I've made that excludes them. And then when they do this, I'm like, damn, thank you for that. Because it's another bullet in the gun to say, hey, dating this person, this is what they would do.
Mm. And look, it's always, you're always going to feel some kind of, no matter who it is, no matter what it is, you're going to feel an emotion. You're going to feel hurt, or you're going to feel something, like if somebody is not interested in you, right? There's going to be some kind of something. But I just don't think you need to dwell on it. I think you just, I don't know. I know maybe I'm saying it too easy here, but I think that there's a time period for everything, and you will, like, just know that you will find somebody who's right for you, because this world has got like 7.5 billion people. Like, come on, it's
Right.
very unlikely there's not one person for you. Otherwise, I don't think you'd be in the world unless you choose not to be with someone. But if that's what you want, and I just want to say, like, people with any situation, people think they've got to feel love, they have to have somebody in their life. But if
No,
you want love, I think you have to feel love first, and then the love comes around. Because if you're feeling jealousy, hate, and all of that towards other people, when you see, like, people have said, oh, yeah, but look at that person, or they look like they're so in love, and oh, why can't I have that? I want that. And it's like, well, that's not going to get you it, because you're not putting the right energy out there, and you've got something missing in your life. You can't have what's missing. You have to align with what you want. And if you want a great relationship, have a great relationship with yourself first, and then that relationship will come along. Because if you're trying to find somebody else to have a great relationship before you have that relationship with you, it's never going to work, because you haven't found you, and you're not having that relationship with yourself first. So first and foremost, have a relationship with you, get to know you, have that love towards you, respect yourself, respect your own boundaries, respect what you're about. And like Michael said, if somebody comes along and they don't want to know, I mean, initially say they want to go on a date with you or they want to get to know you, whatever, and it works out that it's not that way. You can't shame them for that. It's just that was an experience. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned within each thing. Take
Yeah,
that
maybe they've
lesson,
changed their mind. Like, who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. And yes, like I said, it can hurt, of course, but don't let that hurt continue,
Don't
and
let
don't
that
let it,
hurt who you are. Don't let it define you.
yeah,
Is
because
what
it
I would
can't,
say.
yes, because too many words are being thrown around and that people take on board and then feel like they're
They take
not
it personally.
worthy. Yeah, they take it so personally, and because it's been put to you, like I've had things said to me, and yes, I go like, how, like, what are you saying to me? And it hurts, or it
I
feels
think
like,
it hurts because it's from someone that you either respect or someone that you like because you want them to like you a certain way.
yes, absolutely. And if they're not liking you that way, like I said, it's not, I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world, especially when it comes down to love. But I just think, why are you going to beat yourself up, turn yourself upside down, ruin yourself? And like there's somebody that I know, I don't know them, but somebody that is close to me that knows somebody, and she was in a relationship for 5 years. No, sorry, 12 years, and they had a baby together. And within a couple of, I think the baby was 3 years old, he just got up and left one day,
Hmm.
and obviously there's a 3-year-old involved here, and they were together for 12 years, and he just disappeared. Michael, gone, absolutely gone. And when she said, like, what's going on? He just said, I just don't want to be with you. Now,
Yeah.
she ended up seriously depressed, like, didn't leave the house, didn't want to, like, deal with her child, didn't want to do this, didn't, and ended up like that for like 3 months. And I mean, I don't know if it's still happening now because I haven't had an update, but to me, it's like you're ruining yourself and your child's life for somebody else. Like,
That's true. I do agree with that.
where's the like where's the benefit in that? Where do you benefit by doing that? Like I said, it's not like you're not going to get hurt, but why put yourself into that state of mind just because somebody's walked away? Yes, you need, and a lot of the time we do need to hear why, um
But that person doesn't owe you that.
but the person doesn't owe you that. And we had this conversation the other day. It doesn't owe you that, but it would be nice to get that, because then you can get that clarity and that
Yeah.
could be helpful to move on. And if someone's just disappeared after 12 years, it can't be easy.
No,
Absolutely,
because
it
then
can't
that's
be
the thing.
easy.
Now it puts that position in like puts that person in a position like they're obligated to you, and no one's obligated to anybody. Like if
Yeah.
someone literally like, yo, like, look, I'm gonna keep it a stack, man. I dated a girl last year, broke up with me via text, just left. I thought things were good. I thought things were great. She just left, guys. No explanation. Hey, this is not working out. I need time to myself. Just left. And I tried to, hey, what's going on? Like, why are you just leaving? Like, why aren't you, like, what's going on? Like, why can't you talk to me? Oh, I'm not in the space. And they just left without a care in the world.
That's the thing. You can't control someone else. You just can't
No,
control
that's why I'm
someone
saying,
else.
like, yes, it might hurt, but you
And
have
it
to learn to
will.
take your L's like a champ. Like that clearly wasn't the relationship for me because there was never communicate, like there was, but not communication on the sense of, hey, this is on my mind, this is on my thoughts, can we talk about it? None of that. Because in this day and age, it's so easy for people to just leave and find someone else.
Yeah. And it's quite sad, really. People don't work at things.
They
It's
don't
funny
want to put
because
in the work. They don't
they don't
have
want to
to
put,
though.
no, and they don't have to put in the work. But you know what? If you go back, like even 30, 40 years ago, where people would actually work through their relationships, but people are so quick to walk away. And I kind of find it sad at the same time, because you just think, well, what was your reason for getting with the person in the first place? And if you've gone 2, 3 years down the line, if it's been that bad for 3 years, why have you continued? But you can't even
Well, you
go
know
there
what?
because it's happened
I took
already.
I took sorry to cut you off. I took responsibility because I picked her. I
Yeah.
said yes. And I took that responsibility to say, you pick this person.
But you still don't know what that person's going to do next. You just don't know. No,
I
you
didn't
just
care
don't
after,
know.
but I understood that it was on me. I didn't vet her properly.
But even if you vet someone properly, Michael, people can hit things in their life and they shut down and they just want to be
Yeah, that
alone. They
too.
just want to go and do their own thing, or and they don't want to see anybody, and they might not want to see anybody for the next year or so. But that's
Yeah.
their prerogative. That's down to them. And I think you
But then you
just
would make sure that you wouldn't date somebody that moves like that. You know what
yeah.
I
But how
mean?
would you know that? You wouldn't know that until you hit that. There's no
Oh
way
yeah,
of
I see what you're
knowing.
saying. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
there's no way
interesting
of
though.
knowing.
It's interesting that you're saying this though, because I believe the biggest test in any relationship is not during the good times, but during can you guys move through conflict together.
Yes,
That
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
Can you
yes.
move through conflict
Yeah, because
together?
if you can move through conflict together, then you can move through anything together. And I think if you're going to have a partner, like, I don't know, have a partner for long term or for life. And I don't mean, I
Mm,
don't know, I say life, like, I think if you start looking 20 years down the line, you look ahead, you could possibly like literally shit yourself. Like what that could be
yeah.
like to me, that's scary. But if you're looking at it for what it is now and just seeing how you guys going forward today and what's going on next and what's happening, and I don't know, just taking it each day as it comes, then you can kind of like that thing you were saying, like every 30 days, you can like look at it and say,
Yeah.
well, where do we want to go from here? What's going on? Like, do we want to move forward? Do we not? And I think that becomes a very easier way to do things because you're not attaching yourself. And it is easy to attach yourself to someone, absolutely. But we were born alone, man, and we leave this planet alone. So, really,
I agree with you. So I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Even as I said, even if it's just one person, look, guys, it's the message, right? And you guys can always repeat and watch the show. So again, we appreciate you guys being here with us this morning. We're gonna have a special bonus episode. We're gonna try to figure something out. And yeah, please like, share, subscribe, and just remember, man, like the better version you become of yourself, the less you'll tolerate from people, and you'll understand when you're being shamed for something. And it doesn't mean that you should ever lash out. I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying when you're aware that you are being shamed for a preference, when you are being shamed for having a view or something like that. So, with that being said, guys, we want to thank you. We appreciate you. And is there anything else you want to say, Anthea, before we?
no, I just want to say that was a good one. made
Yeah,
me made me have to think about a lot of things.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, hopefully it has, it does help. Like these are what these conversations are about. We have natural conversations. Like I don't know what I'm going to say. Michael doesn't. We kind
we
of
don't script it.
no, we don't script it. It's very naturally just coming from us. We have to stop and think about it too. We have to kind of put ourselves in certain situations and think about our answers on the spot. So yeah, it's just but again, like thank you for whoever's watching. Please do like and share. Please support us and help us get up that algorithm. And I really look forward to either Saturday. Is it tomorrow? Saturday, isn't it?
We'll
So
either
it's either
do it Saturday or Sunday. We'll
yeah,
figure it out. That bonus
yeah.
episode, we'll
I
figure it
think
out.
Sunday
But
might be better actually.
yeah,
Um,
we
but
can figure
yeah,
that out for sure.
cool.
Yeah, we'll speak to you guys soon and take care.
All right, take care.